of November 2025. I think from here on out, just to make my life easier and just less things to look at and just try and get in tune with stuff, is I'm just going to stick with gold for now. I took some losses on Euro and Nasdaq yesterday on various setups. They just didn't work. So I was like, oh, I just seem to have been able to get better moves on gold using this Steve Luke stuff than those two. And that reading price charts bar by bar, a technical analysis of price action for the serious trader arrived yesterday. So I got stuck into that. Some interesting stuff. It's very large. I think it's like nearly 400 pages long. So plenty of content in there. Obviously, at the moment, it's just going over sort of general price action and stuff that's not really relevant, but it's interesting nonetheless. Probably one of those books that it's good to understand bits and pieces, but there's probably things in there that aren't really that important or not relevant to what we're doing. Anyway, I digress. So at the moment, I'm still in that short from yesterday. So there's not really anything to update there. Again, it was just the basis that we had all these wicks to the upside. Price was able to push through doing that directional wick fill. We then also filled in any sort of imbalance that was there on the daily. Now, obviously, I am still bullish overall, but we've got this nice consolidation, push out, expect price to come back to then go. And like I said, on the daily, saw a similar sort of thing here, large wick, eventually filled that wick there, just to illustrate the point I'm making. And then price came back down to the body of the lows, and in there's an area there. Like I said, down in here, there is a Asia low that hasn't been taken. So, yeah, as it stands, price created a lot of wicks, sort of showing a bit of slowdown in price. Let's just get rid of some of this. That's that imbalance that was, and again, interestingly enough, on the 4-hour, you had this POI here that I didn't really pay much attention to, but again, it is there. Come on, fingers. So it's tapped into that. And then, yeah, got this area down here, so just get rid of that. And again, it sort of did pull back up this morning to a, well, let's have a look at this and just hide this risk to reward. Hide that. So this was obviously yesterday, price pushed up, dropped down, leaving behind, well, a lot of wicks here. So fill in wicks, push down. Let's have a look at this. This is on the hourly, of course. I just want to check something. So if, for example, well, look at that. That is interesting. So this doji candle here, which had the biggest wick out of these wicks here, price came up, tapped 50% of that large wick on the hourly and fell down. Obviously, you've got a 1-hour point of interest there on the 15. Again, this would have been at around 8:30. So yeah, again, just in certain areas, not to say that this won't just continue flying up, but certainly here, this large wick pushed down on a doji, as I've mentioned before. Where was it? It was down here. We had a price pulling up. Where did it go? Tapped into 50% of the wick, pushed up. All very sort of interesting stuff. But yeah, you would really sort of say that was a point of interest there. So let's just go across like this. So that's a point of interest after that move down. And the fact that price was unable to then continue higher, and all we've been doing since is creating lower highs, lower high, and then lower high. And on this sort of pullback here, a lower high. So we have started to create those sort of lower highs in price. So again, it's not really showing much ability to break above. Like I said, not to say that it will drop. Obviously, got to always be aware that once we're taking the risk, price is going to do whatever bloody hell it wants to do. But let's look at the 15. So when price pulled up into this area, now again, you could maybe refine this point of interest. It's not a sort of quote unquote clean point of interest, but the last up close candle, probably use that one as that's like an inside of the price there. I'll tell you what, let's just go 300 just to make it easier. There we go. So price is pushed up, big wick, big wick, big drop, and nothing's really, I mean, it's come back up, not quite to that area. So yeah, there's not really a lot within there that would have allowed for an entry this morning. Yeah, if that engulfed a bit more, you could probably have gone with the tops of those bodies there. But like I said, on the hourly, that was interesting that price tapped into 50% of that large wick. And again, that is just one thing that I've started to notice. So again, there may be something to that we can utilize, especially if it's on the hourly. You don't have to worry about too much more as long as you're understanding where you want to go. So yeah, as for the higher time frames, again, on the 15, it was this lower Asia range. Asia high was taken out here. This Asia range is pretty much contained within itself. So we still got this Asia low, still got that Asia low. Is there anything more? But again, based on this directional wick fill, again, got some imbalance down here. And yeah, we will see what happens. Again, could have this as a point of interest down here. There's a little bit of imbalance within these wicks, so we'll see what happens. At the moment, though, price has been very much sort of pushing sideways, just coming up to 2 o'clock. So I don't know if any sort of volume will kick in at the moment. So yeah, and even on the 4 hour, if you were taking a 4 hour sort of, we've pushed up into this wick, engulfed. So we've got that there. So yeah, I'm just waffling. Ideally, I'd like to see price fall a bit, and obviously got some clear imbalance on the 4 hour. Daily, again, we do have a large daily point of interest there. So again, that's just where the imbalance is. So yeah, we will see.